Christian working on a spare here in the 10th frame. All he needs is any sort of reasonable count, a spare, and just a few pins, and he'll be in the championship round. But with that first ball in the 10th, he loses 10 pins in count, and now even if he spares and strikes on the fill ball, the best he can do is 189. He needed to beat 191 to get to the championship round. Christian is out, and the field is set. It's the Prodigy Bowlers Tour, live on tape from Brunswick Zone Roswell in Roswell, Georgia. Prodigy Bowlers Tour is a series of unofficial, informal, and impromptu after-league challenge matches staged by our most active and engaged junior bowlers, all in an effort to simulate tournament competition in an open play environment. The mission of Prodigy Bowlers Tour is to celebrate junior bowling while we elevate junior bowlers. Each week, our players compete for the right to put their name on the Coveted Trophy Pin. At the end of the season, the player who signs his or her name to that trophy pin most often gets to keep it as a keepsake in commemoration of their hard-fought right to claim bragging rights in perpetuity for the 2016-17 bowling season. Today, 6 of our bowlers attempted to qualify for the championship round, and a 4-man stepladder finals. So, let's meet the 4 players who'll be vying for this week's championship. In the number 4 position is Mikey, a two-hander who is looking for his first victory on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. This is his first appearance since October. He'll face our bowler in the number 3 position, Charlie, who won last week and is looking to narrow the gap between himself and Logan for the right to call the Coveted Trophy Pin his own. The winner of that match will bowl against our number 2 seed, Brandon, who fired a game in the 230s to qualify in the number 2 position. Brandon is looking for his first solo win on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. And the winner of that match will bowl for the title this week against our faux tournament leader, Logan, who, after missing last week due to a bout with the flu, posted a game in the 250s to secure the top spot. And that's our field today on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. So, let's get this party started. Charlie, being the higher qualifier between these two, had the option to choose starting lanes, and he wanted to finish first. So that means Mikey will get us underway. He will start the match on lane 33. And that's the way every match ought to start. Right there, a solid strike for Mikey to get us going. And now we get our first look today at Charlie on the right lane. Comes up a little high, leaves a 4-pin. Charlie making an unusual ball selection today. He's throwing his urethane ball. We're bowling on a house shot, 42 feet. That's a little odd. Here he throws his lock, a reactive ball, a pretty aggressive reactive ball at the spare. That's a little flipped from normal. We usually see the hooking ball on the strike ball and the urethane on the spare ball, but he's going the other way today. Playing it a little straighter than normal. Charlie finds the pocket on the second frame, and there's his first strike of the match. Mikey, who started the season with a 299, very first game of the league season. Right in the pocket, leaves a ringing 10. He'll go to his plastic for the spare. And converts. So we're even through 2 frames. Mikey doesn't really bowl tournaments. He's just a league bowler. And he is as capable of getting hot and putting up big scores as any of our kids, really. That one drifts high. He leaves the 6-10. Mikey's team won first prize league champions last season. They're in contention again this year. Solid spare for Mikey. And now Charlie back up on the right lane. High flush, and there's our first double of the day as Charlie moves out to a 12-pin lead. One of the advantages of throwing urethane is that it just won't overreact. So if you're getting a little over-under reaction on a house shot, that is to say, if the ball seems to hook too quickly off the dry, you can smooth that out quite a bit throwing urethane. Look at this. There is a turkey for Charlie. Makes a statement early. And a good strike for Mikey. The 8-pin went out late, but I think if he'd have thrown that ball a little harder, he might have left the 8. Actually, we saw 5 8-10s today in our leagues prior to taping the Prodigy Bowlers Tour. There was one 8-10 on this pair in the qualifying game. Mikey goes to the ground, hoping, praying to avoid the split. He does. His prayer is answered, and he has a simple spare, the 6-pin. But what he doesn't have is a double, and that's what he really needed to cut into Charlie's lead. See if he can cover this. No problem. I know some of our viewers want to know about the equipment our players use. This is the Hammer black urethane ball that Charlie prefers. And it seems to work quite well coming off his hand. He recently got a new arsenal and went from a lighter weight ball. I think he's throwing 15 now. And he had this same black urethane from Hammer in his old arsenal, just a lighter weight. And although he went to Storm equipment, this is the one Hammer piece in his arsenal. Ooh, that 6-pin flies around the 10. So his string of strikes ends at 4. Mikey's going to have to reach deep into his bag of tricks to stay with Charlie, it looks like. Oh. Well, now. That was unexpected. Now, if Mikey can double on his next 2 shots, he can bring this match back to within a mark. Gets it out wide, and it comes charging back, slaps out the 10, and he's got the first part of that double in the bag. Now he needs one more. If he can get a strike right here, this could change the whole dynamic of this match. He looked like he was out of it, but now all of a sudden, see what he can do. Oh, he kept the speed down and the ball just drifted high, and he has got trouble. 6, 7, 10. Well, he's got to go for it.
He's 19 down, and he can't afford to fall any farther back. So he's got to be aggressive and try to get that ball over to the right of the 6, slide it into the 7. Oh, this has a chance. Ooh! Just a little wide. And so the lead is now 33 for Charlie, and Mikey got close. He needed that strike, man. Charlie right back on target. Is Charlie going to give him another gift and another crack in the door? Well, we'll see. The disadvantage to using urethane is that it can create some carry down, which over time can make it harder to get that back end reaction. Charlie right back in the pocket. And now the lead is 43, and Mikey's got his back to the wall now. Got to get strikes. Not splits. No. 4, 7, 10. And you can tell Mikey is disgusted with that. He knows how close he got. And now back-to-back splits. And, well, he's a little agitated. Well, he's more than a little agitated. Goodness gracious. Nolan sneaking his balls out of the area and trying to avoid being on camera. That didn't work very well. We see Mikey grabbing his throat as if this is a big choke. I don't think it's a big choke. I think people use that term a little too loosely. I think he just didn't execute when he needed to. And look at this, the 3-pin flies around the 10. That's 3 opens in a row. We don't see Mikey do that very often. But this one is out of the woods just about. Mikey still has a possible 170, and, well, Charlie's just got to keep it on the lane here, and he'll get past that number. And that'll do it. And with that strike, he is out of reach of Mikey, so Charlie is our winner of match 1. How much can he get? Possible 257. Oh, goes with his lock on that ball. It comes in behind the head pin, and he trips out the 2-8 late. Now he's going to yet another ball. I think these are just exploratory shots. And this time he leaves the 2-8. So with this match out of reach, let's take a break. When we return, Charlie goes on to face Brandon in match 2.
In bowling, often the difference between a strike and a spare lies not with the bowler, but with the ball he's using. And that's why so many thousands of bowlers are going for the new M-Flight bowling ball. It's the ball that gives you more striking power, more pinpoint power to spare. You get more out of bowling with an M-Flight because more goes into the making of each M-Flight. You see, most balls are made in just 2 parts, an inner core and an outer cover. But the new M-Flight is made in a special 3-part method with an inner core, unique outer core of hard rubber, and an extra tough cover stock. All 3 parts are pressed together by AMF's new process to form a springier ball. A ball that has better balance for truer roll and control. More explosive power. More pin mix. See the 1963 line of M-Flight bowling balls at bowling centers and wherever quality sporting goods are sold. Remember, AMF means the finest.
Well, just when Mikey needed a double to make it a close match, the bottom fell out. And then Charlie went to the whip and finished strong. The final score, 244 to 140. So Charlie now moves on to the next match where he'll face Brandon. Little B, being the higher of the two qualifiers, had the option of who will start the match, and he has given Charlie the green light to get us underway. And Charlie picks up where he left off in that 244 game with a strike. And now Brandon, who bowled fantastic in the qualifier, will start on the right lane. Ball doesn't quite finish like he would like, and he leaves a weak 10. We're working on a few things with Brandon. I think he's got a lot of potential. He's got a pretty simple little game. He's got a pretty straight swing. He doesn't do too much to the ball. The ball very rarely overreacts for him. I'd like to get him to walk a little straighter at his 10 pins, though. But he covers that one, and this match is even after the first frame. I think sometimes when Brandon bowls against some of these more experienced players, like Charlie and Logan and some of the others, he just may be a little intimidated. He's only completing his second full year of league bowling this year. He's pretty far along for such a short ride. Boy, he threw that one good. His first strike of the match draws this match even. And now Charlie up on the right lane. Oh, that's a different way to trip a 4-pin. I'm not sure what came and got it. That might have been the 3-pin that came all the way off the right wall. There's a double to start, and Charlie is off to a quick lead. You could tell the way he motioned, he knew he'd pulled that one. But because of the urethane, it didn't overreact. It still found the pocket. Just a little too high to carry. He trips the 4 on the second frame, but leaves it in the third. And he goes back to his hook and ball, the lock, to shoot at the spare. This is all upside down and backwards. I expect to see a hook ball for the strike shot and a straight shot at the spares, but, well, Charlie's just found a different way of doing it today. Brandon gets that one right into the pocket, but leaves a ringing 10. One of the things Brandon works on is he gets his hand to the right side of the ball very early in his backswing. And I think it's because he doesn't get enough spine tilt to the right to give the ball a place to go around his right leg. So he has to pull it around his right leg, and that gets his hand to the outside. There's a solid cover on the 10-pin. But when the hand is over to the right early in the swing, it has nowhere to go to turn the ball at the bottom other than to get on top of the ball, and you don't want to do that. So that's why he doesn't get a lot of hook on it. The good news is he keeps it under control. The bad news is sometimes he feels like he's got to press a little bit to get that ball up there in that high flush zone. He won't carry as many half pocket hits, but he'll carry those every day. That ball would have knocked down 5-pounders. Oh! Well, he's got all kinds of messengers working on lane 34 for him. How do you get a urethane to hook that much? that it would chop the 5 off the 9 going through the rack. And he blows the rack there, and Charlie is in stroke today. Boy. See if Brandon can stay with him. Down by 19. That one doesn't get up. 2-5. Difficult spare. What Brandon and all of these junior bowlers have to do, learn to do, is be patient in this game. You just don't know what's going to happen, and catch a double here and there. Maybe your opponent gives you a break. You're right back in it. When the scoring pace is high, it's a lot easier to make up ground in a hurry. Partially because you can strike, but also because if you can get a string of strikes going, if your opponent just misses once, that's 21 pins back in your favor. So just keep making good shots. Well, he nearly collapses the 2-4, but he's faced with a simple spare, the 2-pin. And he will have no problem with that. So Brandon remains clean through 6 frames. That's good. Now Charlie up on the right. Wow. Well, those pins were going down that time. That ball was not going to leave anything behind. That is 10 in the pit in a big hurry. This to push the lead to 40. Ooh, he was a little worried that that was going to drift high, but again, the urethane saved him. A reactive ball probably would have gone high.
Stay with him.
So Brandon now really doesn't have any more room for error. And he will back off. Something wasn't right. That's a smart move. If something doesn't feel right, or you catch something out of the corner of your eye that distracts you, just put the ball down, start your pre-shot routine all over again, and go in with a clear mind. Oh, he pulled it. Oh, but it broke up the split. That could have been disastrous. It's not helpful that it wasn't a strike, but at least it's not a split. And he can cover this one pretty easily. And there it is. Brandon still with a possible 228. Charlie going at a 239 pace. So Brandon would need to take it off the sheet and get some help. But you never know. You got to do your part of it and get striking. The bowling gods will take care of the rest if they're going to at all. Changed balls for that one, went a little more direct, and that one was right in the hole. right. Charlie slaps out the 10-pin. Boy, if you can carry that hit, you know that it is coming off your hand right. You're playing the right line. You've got good entry angle. Even with a flatter entry angle that you're going to get with a urethane ball, Charlie is still getting plenty of power to carry out the corners. And that one was high flush. And now the lead grows to 61, and, well, all Brandon can do here is strike out and hope that lightning strikes. All right. He gets the 5-pin to go. That cuts the lead a little bit. But it is going to take a miracle. Brandon can shoot 228. Charlie probably has that if he just keeps the next ball in the lane, and I would expect nothing less from him. There's a strike for Brandon. Well, he's at least going to make it interesting. He's already achieved a clean game. And you know, when you're bowling some of these top juniors, you're going to need at least that. This to get into the 220s. And he throws half the rack over at the 7, and it finally goes down. So one more for 228. And I would imagine most games, if you told these kids, okay, I'll just give you a 228, are you going to take that? I think they might say yes a lot of times. Take their chances with it. Another solid strike, so he finishes strong. That's a 5-bagger to close, but Charlie just needs to keep it in the middle of the lane somewhere. Good count will close this one down. Well, that's as good a count as you're going to get right there. So with that ball, Charlie is the winner of this match. The question is, how much can he get? A possible 279. That would be the highest game we've ever seen on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Well, he's in the 270s with that one. Wow. It is fun to see a bowler in dead stroke. And that's what we're looking at right here. Wow. Charlie has really got it going. Oh, and he trips the 4. That's a 279. And a big win for Charlie. He will go on to face Logan in the championship match. Brandon just got run over by a steamroller that time.
I want to show you a sensational new AMF bowling ball. Why here at a racetrack? Because the important thing about this ball is the same thing that's important to these drivers. Traction. The Poly Classic is made of a specially formulated polyester that gives it super traction. To track better. To strike harder. Get your Poly Classic at a bowling center or pro shop. AMF Bowling brings out the best in you.
Well, Brandon fought hard and bowled a clean game, closing with a 5-bagger, but he had a tiger by the tail in Charlie, who fired a 279, the highest score ever on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, and only a pesky 4-pin in the 3rd frame denied him a 300. So Charlie has earned the right to face our tournament leader, Logan, for a trip to the winner's circle. It's a match between the two winningest players on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Logan with 7 wins, Charlie with 3, and he's coming off a win last week. Charlie picks up where he left off. That's 10 strikes in a row for those of you counting now. And now Logan, who missed our show last week. He was fighting a flu bug and was at home with a big fever, but he's feeling better now. And that ball gets a little wide and doesn't quite make the trip all the way back, and he breaks up a cluster and leaves just the 8-pin. Logan looked pretty unstoppable in the qualifying game. He shot in the 250s to grab the top spot. There's a spare, and this match is even after 1 frame. These two have faced one another quite often on our show, and I don't have the statistics in front of me to see exactly how it's broken down, but it's been pretty even. These two have faced one another in tournament competition more times than you can count, and it's been pretty even as well. There's a strike for Logan. Now, to follow up on that, I'd have to say that, you know, Charlie being a year or two older than Logan, he's kind of had the best of Logan through the years, but Logan has sort of evened things up in the last year or so. Wow, that is just steamrolling them down. And that's now 11 strikes in a row for Charlie. As we wait for the old proverbial 180 stop on lane 34, anyone who bowls on Brunswick A2 pin setters is familiar with this. And he's going to wait. All right, so as they call to the counter to get the man in the back to attend the 180 stop on lane 34, we can sit here and play solitaire, I suppose. Did you bring a deck of cards with you? Logan with 7 wins on the Prodigy Bowlers Tour. The trophy pin goes to the player who signs it because they win the most times during the season. And as of right now, Logan has a 4-win lead over Charlie. Charlie with 3 wins, Logan with 7. So as it stands right now, Logan is pretty much got his claim in for the pin at the end of the year, but you never know. There's a lot of weeks left. Charlie's been bowling great these last couple of weeks. Logan has been making a couple of little changes to his game, and I'm not sure that he's quite comfortable with them yet. All right, finally, we're back and running. Charlie for 12 in a row. Ooh, he gets the light shaker. And that's a Vera Papa 300. Andy Vera Papa, the greatest trick shot artist ever. When he counted his 300 games, he would even count those 12 in a row strings, even when they spanned across 2 games. And that's where the term Vera Papa 300 comes from. And Charlie now has one. Logan up in the 3rd to bring the lead back to 10 pins. And he trips out the 410 to keep things close. One more strike here, and he can even the match. Comes up light. Gets the 4 to go, but he leaves the 2-5. Be interesting to see how he shoots this. Sometimes he'll go down the left side with his spare ball, which I think is the preferred method, but he's going to hook the ball at it, and this is risky business here. You come in from the right side, you really increase your odds of chopping it like that. And so the lead grows to 24 pins. Charlie, by the way, made the turn with 523. He needs a 277 game for 800. And it's still alive right now. He starts with 4 in a row. 277 is the number he wants this game to shoot 800. We've never had an 800 on our show. I'm not sure we've had 800 for 4 games by anybody yet. Oh, and he rips the rack. How do you do that with urethane? 5 in a row. 14 in a row if you're counting last game. He is in dead stroke. Wow. All right, Logan's got his hands full now. And that ball breaks high, and he leaves the 3, 6, 7, 10. And things are not going the way he wanted them to. After a great game in qualifying, just not finding it here. Got to get that ball over to the right of the 3 and send it into the 7. He goes with his spare ball. Maybe? Nope. Too much 3-pin. He's open back-to-back in the 4th and 5th frames, and now this match is a 55-pin affair. And Logan's got to go off the sheet from here, you would think. And even then, it may not be enough. Charlie's just a buzzsaw today. Wow. There, that one finds the pocket and slaps out the 10. All right. I'm telling you what, I couldn't hook a urethane ball that much if the lane was 80 feet long. He starts with the front 6. The lead is now 65. Can he keep it going? That's 15 strikes in a row. Oh, he pulled it. Set. Nope. 4-9. What a run, though. Now, to keep his 800 hopes alive, he's got to make this. If he makes this and takes it off the sheet, he shoots 801. But no. That's still great bowling. Wow, wow, wow. He can still get to the high 700s, and I don't care how you slice it. That's great bowling no matter what condition you're bowling it on. All right, Logan, he's got to get striking to have any chance. Stuffs one right there in the 7th, and that cuts the lead to 41. This is not quite over yet, but Logan has really no margin for error now, and he asks for a little extra time on this one as he really wants to focus and take his time, and you can't blame him. Logan is a winner, and he knows how to win, and he wants to make his best shot here. If he can cut it to 31, this game is still not over. Oh, but it doesn't get up, and he leaves the 2, 4, 5. And now this is trouble. So let's see. Logan with a possible 212. Charlie going at a 236 pace. Logan's going to need to make this and hope for some help from Charlie. Oh, and this one doesn't come up. And he's open again. And now Logan with a possible 200. All Charlie needs is a mark in any of the last 3 frames. And that's the best kind of mark right there. And I believe that will reduce it now to just needing some count. I would never have predicted that it would be a blowout between these two, as evenly matched as they are. Something disturbs Charlie, and even though he's got the match pretty much in hand, you want to make a quality shot. These two are both very competitive, and they've got pretty high standards and high expectations they have of themselves. And if I had that much talent, I would too. Solid 10-pin. I believe that does it. Charlie is your winner. Well, we're used to seeing close matches go down often to the very last ball, especially between these two. Didn't happen that way today. I don't think anybody was going to beat Charlie today. The way he was bowling, are you kidding me? There's a bucket crumbler right there. And you can tell by his facial expression that Logan is not a happy camper. But he bowled awfully well to get here to this match. And he's been bowling fantastic recently. So, you know, everybody has a day like this every now and then. Everybody has a day like this. The greatest bowlers in the world have days like this. So it's nothing to be that upset about. You just say, okay, it wasn't my day. And you just go on. The 3-6-10. And he converts it. Strike to finish with 180. he will be back. More times than we can count. And that one goes through the nose. He finishes with a 179. I believe that was a 178. He had the 9-pin back there. So 178. And Charlie, this one goes a little high. It's all academic at this point. He can fill it up for 235. So he's going to end up in the 750s. That's pretty juicy right there. That is a 250 average for 3 games. How many of you have done that recently? Through the nose, 232. And that gives him 755 for 3 games. Clearly, he was not going to be denied today. That's some bowling.
Look who's driving up on a bowling date. It's Carol Christensen, the AMF bowling girl.
Hi, everybody. Come on along and join us, where you see the magic triangle.
Sign of AMF Automatic Pin Spotters. It's hard to realize that Carol first went bowling not so many months ago. Look at her now. A strike in the first frame. That wide-open bowling area with no distractions is one of the modern features of AMF's famous underlane ball return. It delivers the ball at the rear of the bowling area where it belongs.
It's just one of the reasons why so many fans have much more fun at Magic Triangle Centers. Next time you go bowling, won't you join us?
After a couple of weeks in which we had thrilling down-to-the-wire matches, today it was the Charlie show all the way, as this young man put on a shot-making exhibition, firing 755, and he still had 800 in the wood until his second ball in the 7th frame of the 3rd game. That's some outstanding bowling on any condition. So Charlie gets to put his name on the coveted trophy pin one more time. So this is the 4th time that you've won, closing the gap a little bit on Logan, who has 7.
Yeah.
Do you know what you shot today?
It's like 7 something, 750.
755 is what I got.
It's not bad.
Not bad indeed. You know, you still had 800 in sight until you missed the 4-9.
I kind of had it. I saw it a little bit. I was looking up at the score and I was like, all right, let's not think about that. Let's just execute. But hold like 3 of them, and that's what cost it. So.
You still bowled great. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.